I put a note on there. Okay, 2-1. Something's coming up. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. I love when things go poof, 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 and you have no idea what's going on. And that's the way it is most days, because I do actually try that. Say hi, I'm putting on here. Hi, say hi, I'm putting to my chat things. Okay, results succeeded. And so, one of the challenges on a daily news show is what to talk about daily. And I had all weekend, so you'd think I would have it all worked out. Hey, I see Market Builder on here. This is like the first time this has worked. Yay! So say something if you're out there watching. I know some of you are. So I see Market Builders. I put a post out to you that we're meeting in a half an hour, which is what was popping on my screen. Okay, so anyway, I was thinking, I saw a news item last Friday about mail, and I thought it was pretty good. And it's what is the future of the marketing industry? And now it's supposed to switch over to this. Oh, I got to go like that. It's very touchy. This stuff is very touchy. And you say, this is just 3 days ago. So I was like, oh, bonus. And that's pretty good, okay? And so Jason writes, he writes an interview. He writes a piece in IT Pro Portal, okay, in the business category. So I guess he's just blogging. And apparently he talked to some people. But here's the challenge. And I really liked it because it says, and I'm listening to these on my Pocket Reader, which is cool. You put articles in Pocket with your phone app, Pocket, and then when you're driving, you can keep your eyes on the road, but you can let it read it to you, and it's pretty good. You know, it's not perfect. It's not a person reading it to you, but it's just that text to voice. If you haven't seen this, it says, of course I talk to myself. Sometimes I need expert advice. Yeah, but I don't usually listen. Anyway, so I like this because I'm listening to it, you know, kind of halfway. And it talks about traditional media, and this is pretty good right here. In a world where we are all switched on at all times, direct mail is a passage to a much simpler time, which is kind of my theme for today. Now, the problem is, who says that? And I missed it when I was listening, as I was driving. But this morning when I'm rereading it, it says, Washington Direct Mail, a leading UK mailing house. Oh. So it's like, oh, darn it. This is a PR piece from the mailing house. That mail is a big deal and mail is good and you should use mail because, after all, we produce mail. What a surprise, eh? So that wasn't so great. And so then I was over here and I saw this great article, and this is from the Singapore. This is in the Singapore Post, okay? And they have a master report series, and so they did Singapore did a whole deal on the relevance of direct mail marketing. Right? Physical mail is still relevant. It's non-intrusive nature. Now that is so funny because mail is like the most intrusive. Mail gets in your hand. There's nothing on your computer screen that will get in your hand. Phone is in your ear, right? Which is pretty good. But mail you actually can touch, see, smell. And I have had, I've had greeting cards and stuff that when you open them, they sing you happy birthday. So you can have, like, I don't know about taste. Well, yeah, sure. I've gotten sample candies and stuff in the mail. So you can hit basically all 5 senses from mail. So it is the most intrusive medium if you work at it. So when people say it's the least intrusive, it's like, no. What they mean is that mail is, as the Supreme Court of the United States said, The distance from the mailbox to the trash can is sufficiently short as to not constitute an invasion of privacy. We have decided in the United States as a culture that advertising mail is not that big a deal. Okay, so far. Now that could change. You know, there's been some loony like this latest sales tax ruling has huge implications, and we're going to talk about that at NAMOA, which brings me to another point. I'm going to be at NAMOA this week down in Schaumburg, so if you watch my streams, come up and say hi. We're going to be doing them live at 10 at NAMOA. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I promise I'm going to try and do it on Thursday and Friday morning, but how well that works, we'll see. But I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be doing it from there, and maybe I'll get somebody I can interview or something. At the cocktail party the night before, I'll try to line up some guest interviews. That ought to be fun. You know, what do they say? Never believe a promise made under the influence. Yeah, okay, well, we'll see how that works. So anyway, I thought this was pretty good, and it was a pretty good article, and it talked about how mail could be used in your marketing mix. I'm not as interested in mail as a piece of the marketing mix. I'm more interested in mail as a foundational research tool. And I know that's where I deviate from the printers of the world and the marketers and the digital marketers who think they can just take a digital ad, banner ad or something and mail it in an envelope. And it doesn't work usually. But there are things we can do that are transferable to digital. It works better the other way, to be honest. And I have a case study and I have about a 45-minute talk where they kept me for another hour. A lot of millennials asking questions about how mail could be used. And the case study really shows how over a period of 3 years, we were able to take mail data and apply it to mass media and digital media. And we grew the company, and I'm not saying I did. I had nothing to do with it, of course. But they did, 36% in 1 year, you retailer, with really not any big contribution by new stores. It was really year over year at existing stores, which is almost unheard of ever in the retail business. And I know a lot of retailers are hurting, a lot of retailers went under. So it's not like it was universally true that retail was such a great time. But I just want to recommend scientific advertising. There's a website called scientificadvertising.com, and you can download it for free as a PDF. And it explains mail as a research tool. It explains, it was written about 100 years ago, and it explains why there should not be any bad advertising because we know all the principles now. We know all the techniques. And he points to the 50 or 60 years of scientific advertising that's gone before him. And it was the mail order business. It was the mail order geniuses. And this is a book you have to read. You just have to read it. It's a very short book. It's brilliant. It's a great book. Now, along with that, read my book, because that'll tell you how to take data and turn it into money, which they didn't really have at the time, but they go really hand in hand. But the first one you should read is this one, okay? And so I did want to take a little time before I'll probably do mail again tomorrow. We'll see, because I had some big points of why direct mail is still powerful, and why the sad part, if you go back here, the sad part is that and my pocket thing isn't working. It's supposed to go back on that one, but it doesn't. But anyway, what's going on is that a lot of these articles, the Singapore article was from March, and I was looking at another article that I said limited to the last 24 hours, and it was from Marketing News in England. I think this is the one. No, this is the UK one. I took it out of the presentation because I noticed that it was from 2016. So there's a lot of repurposing of information. It's not new, and it bothers me because I'm trying to be a news feed, and a lot of it isn't news, and so I'm trying to sort it out for you. But I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Thank you for joining me. I hope this got some thoughts going in your head. And we're going to talk more about mail tomorrow and why mail is a very powerful resource.